What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building. Y'all know what it is. It's Poly Sports tea time. Get your tea out, Coca-Cola, whatever it is that you drink at this time. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hit the like and the share coming in the door because they both right there. Like and share because they both right there. We appreciate y'all pulling up and rocking with us. Barbara Brown, what's good, fam? From Vegas. Art, what's good? What's good? Hercules, what's happening? Come on in here, y'all. Come on in. Listen, y'all welcome to Cess Sports, BWISE, Poly Sports Tea Time Live today. We stepping into episode 6 of Broken Sky, Imperfect Union. Thank you so much, Barbara Brown. We appreciate the support, fam. Y'all know this is our Poly Sports time. It's our Poly Sports time. 85 Fly, what's good, fam? Green Thumb, what's good? So, listen, this is episode 6, Broken Sky, Imperfect Union, the exploitation of Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso. The tagline cuts straight to the truth. Okay, Lil don't be messing around. You can't fix a broken house with a broken foundation. Okay, Lil ain't messing around. We get straight to the facts. So that's the Chicago Sky in one line. I think that's who they are. Shiny on the outside, inside, walls crumbling. Foundation is crumbling on the inside. When we talk Reese and Cardoso, it's bigger than basketball. We've been saying that it's bigger than basketball. They're not just they're not even rookies no more. These are second-year players with a brand, right? These are cultural icons, champs, standard bearers for a generation. They're not getting nurtured. They're being marketed, pimped out as symbols, while real investments like facilities and coaching and stability ain't nowhere to be found in Chicago. And it's we've been talking about it. It's the oldest hustle in the book. Hype the stars, cash in on the names, and leave the foundation broken. This conversation is set a crossroads of race, gender, and economics. Y'all know where we at in these conversations. Bell Hooks told us long ago, Black women's labor has been undervalued and overexploited from the fields to the boardroom and now to the hardwood. Reese Cardoso carried that weight in real time. Their brilliance sold for profit, but not protected with resources. And that's why this conversation isn't just about critiquing a team or organization. This is about calling out a league, an ownership class, and even us as fans, because the house is broken. And so it's our responsibility to demand a stronger foundation. And so y'all know who I got in here to help me break it all down. I'm bringing in my co-host, Political Lil, who always knows how to cut right to the politics behind the play. Lil, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you, Auntie Cess. You know, you really laid it out pretty clearly. What we're witnessing in Chicago is not just poor management. It's a deliberate playbook that exploits visibility without providing stability. And so, dubbed as the Twin Towers, Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso were drafted to Chicago as cornerstone of a 2-year rebuild in a new era of Sky basketball, supposedly under the tutelage of Hall of Fame coach Teresa Weatherspoon. But unfortunately, they became the face of exploitable pieces for GM Jeff Pagliolo, his so-called win now scheme. In reality, the Chicago Sky are using Reese and Cardoso's college championship pedigree and massive media star power, running what looks like a con. They sell hope, they sell tickets, then they stall on the investment. And here we here with the guy in question. I want to ask the audience to sit with as we go into this conversation. What happens when a franchise just uses Black women's star power as bait for fans, but refuses to repair a broken foundation of resources, respect, and reinvestment? And that's not just a basketball issue. It's a labor issue. It's a consumer issue. And yes, it is a political issue. So with that framing in mind, I'll let Auntie get back to the introduction and why the metaphor captures not only the Sky's 20-year track record, but the exploitation that's at the heart of this imperfect union.
And before we do that, I want to shout out Political Lil, because Political Lil been hollering about this being a labor issue for months on end now, and people starting to catch up. I'm starting to see mainstream media talking about a labor issue. We talked to y'all about the Democratic women getting involved. this is a big deal, and we got to follow this thing closely. So please, you know what I'm saying, lock in, check out the recorded episodes, the information, the links, the templates and everything that Leo's putting together are gonna have available on the website. Lock in and use those. That hashtag respect her game, push that out there. Broken Sky and Perfect Union. Man, house already falling apart. The Chicago Sky, they have broken out, they got no foundation. Angel Reese, Kamilla Cardoso, and they're stuck right in the middle. Right in the middle. They're, you know, in the middle of a rookie deal, in the middle of a CBA negotiation. And the truth is, Reese Cardoso, I keep telling y'all, it don't sound nice, but it's the truth. They being pimped, played, and hustled. Drafted as hope, marketed as cornerstones, and branded as a new era. Cornerstone mean I'm gonna build around you. Cornerstone mean you gonna be here a while. Cornerstone mean you important. They ain't treated Angel or Kamilla like that. Behind the hype, there's been no world-class facilities, no stability, and no investment in player development. We ain't seen no investment in player development. Let's keep it a buck. Instead, this front office is running around like win now on the banner, and they're using young black women as bait and selling tickets and jerseys while the cracks is white. It's supposed to look like, it looks like empowerment, but it's actually extraction. And you know, I've been hollering and stomping my feet up and down virtually about the brilliance of Reese and Cardoso fueling this machine, but it's fueling a machine that has a broken foundation, and nobody is willing to hold people accountable to get in order. And that's the con. Profit off the black women's labor and image while refusing to give them the infrastructure that they deserve. And unless it's called out, the cycle repeats. So, you know, where do we go from here, Leo?
You know, when we talk about the Chicago Sky, we also talk about the WNBA as a whole. And see, the league has a responsibility to ensure uniformity across its workplace. You know, just like it's trying to do with the charter flights, you know, making sure everybody on the new plane. Mm-hmm. Because if one team has a world-class practice facility and another is still renting a gym space, what you create isn't competition. It's actually a caste system. And in that caste system, it's always black women who wind up, you know, carrying the heaviest burden. You know, so what are they going to do about it? You know, Bell Hook taught us that black women have always been exploited for their labor and image. You know, even Angela Davis, you know, reminds us that we live at the crossroads of race, gender, and class oppression. So the answer is clear. Exploitation isn't a byproduct for the Chicago Sky. It's actually their blueprint. And that's exactly what we're seeing playing out in this organization. You know, so it's a con. Says it, when you break it down, it goes back 20 years of neglect. And how Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso star power is just the latest bait in a hustle they've been running. Because like I said, they wasn't the first stars that came through that and got exploited. And they certainly won't be the last. I don't think that the owners, you know, this is just the way he does business, and it is probably extracting value is the way he does business across all of his businesses. This is just the way the man operates. He does not believe in investing. He believes in extracting value, but not investing to extract value. And so this is why you have a uneven system that these young ladies unfortunately are caught up in. And then when you say something, you know, they set you up in the press to put a paper trail on you and get you gone. So, you know, that's a form of political oppression. And it's either going to be addressed by the league or it's going to wind up in a court case that's going to put the league in a box they don't really want to be in.
And I mean, even since we started the conversation, it shifted a bit, right? So when we initially started the conversation, Angel hadn't spoken out publicly. The hit piece hadn't come out, right? So we see this, and then we see Angel say, hey, really, look, you know, I've shown up and did my job every day like I'm supposed to. Been dedicated, did everything that I'm required of in my contract, and y'all aren't living up to y'all end of the bargain, and I'm not putting up with this no more. I'm not doing this shit next year. I'm just not. Okay, so then she get, I mean, she got suspended. I mean, they try to just make all kind of examples out of her, but then to go back and say we keeping her. Why? If you don't want to invest in her, why are you keeping her? I don't think that there's anything that the Chicago Sky can do to even repair this relationship with Angel. Do y'all let me know in the chat if y'all think they can repair this relationship with Angel, or if we've seen Angel play her last game as a Chicago Sky team member. And then too in the chat, when you see Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso marketed as the future of Chicago, do you feel like you're being sold a dream, or do you trust this team to really build something solid now? And y'all drop y'all thoughts. But Lil, let's break down the con. Let's break down the con, because Chicago got 20 years in the league, and they still haven't invested in the foundation of a real championship franchise. Even though they won a championship in the last 5 years, they won a championship, but no world-class practice facility, no serious infrastructure, rented spaces, recycled dreams. And after the Candace Parker era or year or whatever you want to call it ended, the front office pushed the reset story. Draft Angel Reese, draft Kamilla, market them as the Twin Towers, saviors of the future. But this is the hustle right here. Hype up the stars, push the tickets, the merch, cash in on their college glow. All while the foundation is still cracked, while refusing to invest in the resources needed to win. So political ill. How does Dave Zirin's point about owners profiting off players' hype without reinvesting in them? How do owners like Chicago Sky keep profiting off that hype without reinvesting in their players? And how does that apply to what Chicago Sky are doing with Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso right now?
The Chicago Sky, they built so much of their current momentum off the energy surrounding Angel and Kamilla because of their college careers. Their college careers already made them a household name. So the team just leaned into their marketability. They were selling out games and, breaking merchandise records. And I'm not talking about within Chicago. Reese had the number 2 selling jersey across the entire WNBA her rookie year. So they riding the media attention because the media wasn't, running them over, but this author, Zirin, highlights that's a broader problem in sports. Owners cash in on hype, but then they fail to translate that revenue into real reinvestment in the players' resources. And for the Sky, they embrace Reese and Cardoso's star power without providing them the infrastructure, such as the practice facility, even upgraded player development systems that would help them reach their peak as a professional. So this, once again, this is when I say a fair exchange is not a robbery. So if you're not fairly exchanging, if I come in here and I'm bringing all this visibility, bringing you money, bringing you sponsors, bringing you jerseys for which I'm not getting paid a dime, and all I'm asking you to do is give me a facility to practice at, put a damn staff in there that's gonna help me develop. I shouldn't have to pay for my own development. You're not doing any that organization is not doing a damn thing to help them reach their peak as professionals. And that's why people are saying, well, I don't see no improvement, in Kamilla per se, when she, going over to China and playing. But that's because you don't have a dedicated staff to work with the girl, and so she's not gonna improve. And when you have this kind of imbalance, that's exploitation. The players are treated as short-term marketing assets rather than long-term cornerstones, like you were saying. And you maximizing profits from the ticket sales and the merchandising, but you cutting corners on the reinvestment, running around putting up 4 walls and talking about you having a damn dedication ceremony. I mean, just silly shit. You got up 4 walls. You don't have no drill in there, which you have to drop a building. You have to drill down to put the foundation in. So you're going to put me up 4 walls and buffalo me with some bullshit. This is the kind of game. That's what made me think that's just a mental thing, they are not, they are ciphering value from these young ladies instead of nurturing their growth. And so the visibility, it boosts his bottom line, but it's not benefiting them. And I think that both of them would do themselves a service to move on about their business, because they have decided you're going to, I'm going to pimp your visibility, your star power, and I'm not gonna give you shit. That man needs to just get on the mic and say that, because that's exactly what he's doing. And you know, they always say actions speak louder than words. And he's showing them he don't care about Angel Reese, and anybody think he do is a damn fool. He care about her value that he can extract out of her, but he doesn't care about her as a person. He damn sure don't care about her career as a player. Nobody has stayed at Chicago and winded up, you know, in the Hall of Fame. They get their Hall of Fame credentials by going to other teams. So if you come to Chicago, any player out there listening, if your intent is to come to Chicago, understand you're going to get pimped, played, and hustled during your rookie contract, and then you're gonna get moved on down the line for the next stop. The league needs to put a stop to it.
So let me jump in here, because I see JJ579, and I hope if you got some time, go back and check out some of our recorded episodes, because it's so you believe that they will build something solid. Rome wasn't built in a day, so I'm patient. And this is why the con keeps working.
Niggas just like him.
Because the clock should have been stopped ticking. They've been doing the same thing for 20 years. So a team with both of those players should be a way better team than last place. And I agree with you right there, JJ. But here's what I want. Here's what I want to remind people about, right? So Sylvia Fowles was on this team. Elena Deladon was on this team. Candace Parker was on this team. Kalia Copper was on this team. Courtney Williams was on this team. Gabby Williams was on this team. Allie Quigley was on this team. Diamond DeShields was on this team. Emma Meesman was on this team. Christy Tolliver was on this team. Who am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting some people. I think Stephanie Dawson was on the team. Stephanie Dawson was on the team. Stephanie Dawson. Who else am I forgetting? Courtney Vandersloot. Did I say her? So all of this talent that's been through there, they ain't been able to do anything. It's all good, Professor Golden. Let me know. The Sky organization is rinse and repeat how they treat the players. History shows us that, and that's the con. And as long as we keep going, man, we patient. Yeah, man, they gonna rebuild something. They're gonna keep saying, you know what?
That's the same shit they've been telling you for 20 years.
This is why we're calling it out, JJ, because next year, it's over for that. It's over for the be patient time. It's over for the be play. And I'm telling y'all, I'm sure there are players' names that I have not called that were on this team. It's a ton of players that's been through here. Think about this. I keep trying to remind people the Chicago Sky is the last team to win a championship besides New York and Las Vegas. Now think about what New York looked like this year. Think about what Las Vegas looked like this year. Think about what Chicago has looked like every year since they won the championship. Tell me another organization that you know allows a finals MVP to get away from the organization. Candace Dupree. Another, I think we may have said her, Mario, but yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. Elena Smith, Cheyenne Parker Tyus. Come on. Name this talent that's been here. This is the con, JJ. This why we spending this time talking about it. You telling me now all of these players have gone on someplace else, most of them to find success, whether it was in the WNBA, internationally, or wherever that is, right? They've gone on to find success. Some of them championships, whatever that is. You couldn't figure out how to build around any of this talent, but you want me to trust. You want me to trust now that you got it all figured out, and you're gonna finally put the right foundation under Kamilla and Angel? How, Sway? How can we believe that? How can we believe that at all? There's no way we can believe that at all based on your actions. All asked to be traded. Talia Copper, Copper, what was the problem in Chicago? She said she couldn't get a pre-game meal. Do y'all know how silly that sounds to me? Especially because there's this thing on my bucket list called the Taste of Chicago. where they tell me this is where you want to go if you're a foodie.
Yep.
So you couldn't find, it's only 44 games, 22 of them is at home. It wasn't 22 people at the Taste of Chicago that would have said, hey, you know what? I'd love to feed your 13 players, 15 players, I don't know, 25 people in your organization for a shot up a picture of my organization's logo on the jumbotron in the organization. I mean, during the live game, show it on TV, put a promo code for somebody to get 10% off. It wasn't 22 people at the Taste that could benefit from that. It wasn't 22. There are not 22 restaurants in Chicago that would like to partner with the WNBA for one night to feed 25 people and have your name blasted all over every place they got going. Put it in the program. It's simple stuff. You didn't have to spend no money for this stuff. Is what I'm talking about. See, and that's my problem with the con, because it's not about they can't, it's about they don't want to. They didn't put any effort into trying to make that happen. Not at all. You know how I know? Because when Angel said she was hungry on Facebook or wherever that was the first time she got to Chicago, 95 million people gave her an idea someplace to go. Epiphany Prince, come on, keep coming. Swing Cash came through Chicago. Keep the names going. I don't even know what Robinson Ribs is, but maybe. I don't know.
The bottom line is Chicago has one of the largest restaurant industries in this nation. And you're not going to tell me that feeding 12 or 13 people is going to break anybody's bank. But you didn't ask. You didn't bother to ask because you don't give a damn about the players. You don't care about them. All you want to do is extract what's going to go in your pocket. And then all this shit about Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built in 20 years. You know, it might not have been built in a day, but in year 20, Rome was up and rolling.
There's that. Dana Evans came through there. Yeah, Dana came through there. This is right. Miracle Rider, what's good? So this is what we're saying. Oh, okay. First go, you from Chicago? Okay, Chi-Town. Yeah, I'm not from Chicago. I hope that people know I'm not from Chicago. But everything you guys stated is accurate. Thank you. And that's what I want to hear back, especially from the people in Chicago. When Angel was drafted, they gave her a homemade cake. Did you see that? On their birthday, they was handing out bags of Takis, and it wasn't even a big bag of Takis. It was like a big grab. Hey, man, family size on the birthday, just me. Yep. It's just the whole thing was just cheap. Yep. Cheaply done, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because it doesn't have to look like that. The moment the Angel's name was called, I wanted her out. I understand. As Ray Stevens came through there too. Jeez.
Yeah, Stevens. Show she was on the championship team.
I didn't even remember. It's some other people. All that talent list, they should have like 5 over 20 years. Like 5 over 20 years.
Somebody needs to slap the taste out anybody's mouth talking about be patient.
So we can't keep being patient. We can't keep being patient. We got to get to the action, because I think Chicago is what? Is it the third largest TV market in the country?
In the country.
Oh, in the country. Okay, I thought we was just saying amongst the W teams. It's the third largest market, period.
Third largest media market.
So we got to definitely do better. But I get off my soapbox on that. But let's break down this win now con. Okay, let's break down this win now con. This win now con. Because after Candace left, they had to get a new story to tell. I don't know how you lose a hometown hero and your finals MVP within 3 to 4 years of each other. It's the silliest thing I've ever seen. But so then they hit the reset. They bring in Reese. They bring in Cardoso. They market it as the birth of a dynasty. The Twin Towers gonna rebuild Chicago. It was pitched as a 2-year plan. Remember that? 2 years plan back to contention. Then they had to pivot. They fired the coach, rolled out the win now scheme, justified the higher ticket prices. Must buy your new merch. And now they set up Angel Reese for a trade by assassinating her character through the press. But if we look closer, it's the same hustle with a new coat of paint. And because there's still no practice facility, it's still no long-term staff investment, it's still no real roots, it's still no development. Ownership leaned in on hype and quick fixes, flashy trades, big talk, splashy marketing, all replacing the steady work of building the foundation. What's the biggest news Chicago Scott gave y'all in the last 5 years? Besides the championship, Dwayne Wade gave him $85 million. You know what you should have followed that up with? What in the hell did you do with the $85 million? Open the books. What did you spend it on? Where is the money? Where's the money? Y'all ain't feeding the players. Y'all ain't gave them no practice facility. Y'all ain't buying no real cakes. Y'all baking them at home. Like, hey, where's the bread? Where's the bread? He ain't the only one that gave no money. Come up off the money. So, the Win Now campaign, I think was never about winning games. It wasn't the Win Now. That's where we got food. That was the kind. We thought Win Now was like win some games. No, Win Now was win the money out your pocket right now. They wanted all the money out your pocket. Win it now. They sold hope, and it was about keeping the cash flowing, and that they did. They kept the cash flowing. Win Now. Oh, it's coming. Twin Towers. They coming. Yeah. Nah, stop it. Angel Reese, Kamilla Cardoso at the center of it all, and they basically have become the face of this con. The hype was the product, not the team. And now we got to figure something. Now we have to be able to hold them accountable for that. But why do you think, Lil, the Chicago Sky leaned on Reese Cardoso's college pedigree and star power as part of this Win Now strategy? Like, instead of making a serious long-term investment, they was like, hey, they national champions. We're going to win now with them. Make it make sense.
It's a classic shortcut, and it's a shortcut a lot of owners take. Instead of laying down a foundation, building a facility, and hiring some top-level development staff, creating the kind of culture that keeps players around, they lean on what Reese and Cardoso already had with their names, their championships, and they came in with a 6.3 million person fan base. Don't forget that. I got 6.3 million people that I can con out of money if I don't get but $1 from each of those fans. But if you're selling jerseys for $50 and $60 times 6.3 million, come on, y'all. And that college pedigree, it gave them instant ticket sales, instant media buzz, and the ownership knew it. So hype is not the same thing as infrastructure. And you can't substitute a packed arena today for the resources that make the franchise competitive for years to come. And so that's what the Sky doing. It's like flipping a house with flashy paint on the outside, but you ain't fixed the plumbing inside. So it looked good for now. It's moving tickets, but when that shine wear off, the players are left in a system that actually they never actually invested in their long-term growth. I mean, Reese bought a damn house in Chicago, paid $1.4 million. The girl had an intent to stay here, and the deal is Reese and Cardoso deserve better than being used as some damn marketing tools for a Win Now scheme that has no real foundation underneath it. And they still now they coming with the next con. They already got it set up. They in Win Now mode. That's gonna be the next con. These people just unbelievable.
I got to know this, Lil. Do you see this bait and reset cycle as part of a larger pattern in sports ownership? One that's kind of profiting from the quick hype and while leaving the players and fans with nothing sustainable?
Absolutely. Look at Shador. The Browns, they don't intend to ever play him, but the boy made $250 million just off his jersey sales, and they trying to hold on to him long enough to make sure that's not refundable. Won't trade him, won't put him on the practice squad. He ain't even playing catch with the kiddies. They just dogging him and using his star power. And this is something that's a playbook across sports. He's on his grab onto the momentum and hype. It's a hot rookie. It might be a surprise playoff run. A big social media wave, like in the case of Shador. And they just milk it for all his work. They sell jerseys, pack these arenas, they flood the market with promotions, and the fans just get caught up in the ride. Everybody in Cleveland just rolling. We're going to roll with Shador. We're going to show them that we support Shadua. And then Shadua produced 250 million, only get 15 out of it. That's like 6%. So when it comes time for them to reinvest those profits in the facilities, coaching, or building a team culture that lasts, the owner, they say, who's the next ninja coming through? They press that reset button instead. And so it results in you have a cycle of excitement, no stability. Players get burned out, leave for other franchises. They actually invest in their player. And the fans they wind up feeling, duped because your new era done fizzed out. This win now con is going to fizz out. And, when you got the WNBA trying to grow its audience and prove it has staying power, that's a dangerous move to allow that to happen in your, within your league. And it's not about just one season of height. It's about building something players want to stay in and fans can believe in long term. And until these leagues are held accountable, mainly by the fans, this cycle of bait and reset going to continue draining value instead of building on it.
Bam, I want y'all to let me know too. Do you believe the Chicago Sky ever intended to build around Angel and Kamilla? Or were they just selling the short-term hustle? Y'all let me know. But let me see here. Okay, so JJ, you say you being patient. Step back up. You being patient with Angel and KC being there specifically. The Sky organization definitely has a lot of things to turn around. So I guess what I want to understand from you, JJ, specifically is how are you finding the patience to give them more time, especially when they've done nothing but hustle backwards since they got the Twin Towers there, right? So they had the coach that had got them almost to the playoffs. They had Kennedy Carter in place. They were it looked like they were trending in the right direction. They got rid of all of that and went from a couple days out of the playoffs to almost the worst team in the league. And now we're going to be going into the third year of Kamilla and Angel's rookie season. Where do you find the patience? I'm curious. Did they stop construction on a new practice facility? That I'm not sure of. I don't know that it.
It was never the
I don't know that
let
they
me
really
explain
started.
something.
Okay,
there's no construction on the facility other than the four walls. Now, putting up this man is a real estate developer, so he knows what he's doing. Now, when you have to have permits to have drills, to be able to drill in the ground, stuff like that. Evidently, from what I understand, he has not been given a permit for a drill, but he can put up four walls, of which what they call the frame of the building, so to speak, to show that they are, it's like he's showing a house. You put some paint on it, you stage a house. It's a staging situation. So they've staged the house, and tomorrow they're gonna run out to try to make, because they already done told Reese evidently that this facility is not gonna be ready in time for them to bring in elite players. And she also pointed out that they needed some repair on the apartments. They were, they had players staying in and stuff like that. You a damn real estate developer. I should have the sharpest apartment in the league. There's just no reason for stuff like that. But they're gonna stage this con, and then they're gonna come up. Oh, first it was delay. I couldn't get the loan. Then it's gonna be delay. This happened. I can't get the permit. Then it's gonna be delay. It's gonna always be somebody else's fault for the delay, and then they're not gonna build nothing. By that time, they're gonna con you again, clip your pockets, and then come up with something new. These people are not serious. They playing games, and they playing games on a fan base that evidently can't see through what they doing. When I knew they wasn't serious after they won that championship, had every politician in Chicago up in there, from Cook County to the mayor at the time, Lori Lightfoot. You had all this political power in there, and you didn't even think about breaking. That was in what, 2020 they won that championship? 2021. You waited until 4 years later to even introduce the concept. So when people question alter on there, and there are newspaper articles, it just wasn't the right time. This, that, and the other. No, it ain't about it being the right time. That's absolute nonsense. You don't want to put up a building and then have to staff it, because you remember now, it's not just about putting up a building. See, I don't have to staff the little YMCA gym or whatever gym they renting, the rec center gym. I don't have to staff that. I don't have to pay people full-time salaries, stuff like that. I don't have to keep the lights on. I don't have to pay a water bill. But if you put up a building, then you're going to be responsible for that. And that man is just not going to spend his money, maybe until he gets his team is completely gentrified, then maybe he'll step in. But he's not going to do it as long as there's black players there. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So I'm not spending my money. When my money gets spent, you're gonna have elite players in here. We're gonna have a facility. It's gonna be fully staffed. Then I invest. But I'm not gonna keep. I promise you. Because as far as I'm concerned, he right now with Reese Cardoso facing a breach of contract. Because remember, every contract does not have to be written. He made them a promise. And he's not keeping his end of the bargain. He told that girl that the facility would be ready in December. I don't want to hear about couldn't get the loan, couldn't do this, or couldn't do that. You gave us a date of December 2025 that will give you plenty of time to have your facility opening going into free agency. Then you could bring people in, show them what you got, this, that, and the other. Oh, we couldn't get, man, go ahead, go on with that. But like I said, they got a lot of fools out here. And if you want to keep getting your head bumped, then keep giving them your money. I can't knock his hustle, because somebody should have been called him out on this. It shouldn't even took Reese to call him out on. You had too many other Hall of Fame players and all-stars. These people have had 15, 16 all-stars. That means that every year practically you have an all-star, and then you still practicing in a gym. And that's the crazy part. The place that they build in the facility has a facility already built, a state-of-the-art facility. And so my question last year, why aren't you practicing over there? Why can't you renting space in Deerfield? Must be $2 or $3. Why you can't rent this brand new state-of-the-art? Buku courts, eating facilities. They got all kinds of stuff in there. If you're going to do something until your building is built, why can't you rent that building until the building is built? That's at least more attractive, And why do you have substandard apartments and you got elite players, The dude, they run around. They jumped on this a podcaster thing, or had this white girl jump on the podcast, talking about how broke they are and this, that, and that. I'm like, somebody just gave you $85 million. How the hell are you broke? You only got 12 players? Dwayne Wade, you a good one, brother. There's no way in hell that could have took care of 2 facilities. So I don't know what in the hell you did with that money. You already, the ticket prices is ridiculous. You asking me to pay for a premium show, and I go out here and I gotta watch a 50-point blowout. If you still, like I said, alter is lollipop. As far as he concerned, y'all all day suckers. And if y'all want to continue to be that, then I don't have no problem with it. But I'm still going to put out the truth of the matter. For those who don't want to get duped. Because some people just like being suckers. They like being a sucker. So, and they know that. Because if they didn't think it was true, they wouldn't keep doing what they doing. Go ahead, Cess.
No, this is a great point. Well, let me see. Prof Golden, I see you trying to get up. I see you trying to get up here today. I tried to shoot the email to you. Let me know if you get it. And if not, we can schedule something where we could come up and we can have an extended conversation. If you want to share some about this topic, you can come on up for a few minutes. But what does the WNBA have to gain from allowing such substandard production over the years? What tools do they have to hold teams accountable? None. They don't have any. They didn't set any standards. And that's our point. There's no standard to get in here. You ain't gotta. You want to be an owner? Pay your money.
Yep. All I need is that fee.
Yeah, you ain't gotta have a facility. You ain't gotta have an idea where you might put a facility. You ain't gotta have land. You ain't gotta have nothing. Permits. Nobody at the city. Nothing. Just the money. And for them to say yes, right? And so let me see. Why don't the league hold these franchises to a higher standard? This is what we're trying to figure out right now. This is exactly what we want to know. Facts, Leo, y'all have mentioned it before, establishing standards across the board. Brenton Johnston invested in the immigrants. He should have invested in a new facility for Chicago to build revenue.
That's not his job. This is a problem. Listen, let me tell you something. Pritzker, the governor, nor the mayor can afford to give these billionaires money to build these stadiums. That's why the Chicago Bears about to take their show out to Arlington, because they done told them, no, we're not giving you no damn money to build no stadium. They want you to pay for half. And then we gonna provide jobs. And you know how many jobs they provide? 100 jobs, and they go to their damn family and friends. Let me tell you something. Y'all need to study how many, even Donald Trump, the kind of money they done got out of this government, out of taxpayer pocket, to build shit for their benefit. You know, that they don't even operate in Chicago. Why the hell would the mayor, with all the problems he got trying to pay for education, trying to pay these teacher pensions and all that kind of shit, you don't need to be spending no money building those stadiums. The city already built the goddamn building they playing in. Rob Manuel, he built that building, and for the school, but the school let them play in it. That's enough. When you gonna put up your money, owner? Get out of here with that shit. That shit ridiculous, man. For you to even think that's silly. You a billionaire, and I gotta keep padding your pockets with the taxpayer money. You know, talking about what I'm doing for immigrants. You know, the immigrant situation, you talking about people that were sent up here by a Republican governor that had nowhere else to go. What, you supposed to just let them starve? You know, come on with that. I'm gonna let them starve, but I'm gonna give these billionaires money. Somebody gave you $85 million. That should have solved all your problems. But what you're doing, you're taking that money and putting it into other businesses. Plus the tax break. Let me tell y'all another thing about this tax break. 15 years amortization, and you getting a tax break on every business you got, rolling it into the sports thing. It's a ridiculous loophole that they have in the tax code. Where these teams, you get to write off the expenses of every business ain't even associated with you having a team. I mean, it's absurd kind of stuff that's going on. You know, the IRS got some little campaign out now. They said the tax returns that come in for these teams is so outrageous and ridiculous, you know, expense-wise, because you got 10 other businesses, you able to write them expenses off on your basketball team back. I mean, it's just crazy. But sorry about that. I just get hot because I've been dealing with this shit for 20 years myself.
Exactly. You right there in Chicago. This is the voice we want you. This is the voice we want to hear.
And one of the first investors, one of the first ticket holders. You know, and I ain't seen nothing but a jack up ever since.
We got, one second here. We're gonna see. Got Professor Golden. They want to join. Professor Golden, good evening, good afternoon. You on the West Coast, so good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, ladies. I'm here in Phoenix.
Okay, you're in Phoenix.
Yeah, and so go ahead, welcome. I'm so glad to be here, and I don't want to take too much of your thunder because I like to sit back and listen, but I had to chime in because the universe is moving in so many different directions, and I've been so busy. That's why I haven't been able to join you guys. But I have to address this and put some perspective on everything you guys are saying, because everything you guys are saying is 100% accurate. What we have to understand is Chicago teams run their teams like a small market team. They don't want to spend money. As long as if they can win championships without spending money, that's what they'll do. Now, if you compare Michael Jordan's first 3 years in the NBA, he had 3 different coaches. If you compare Angel Reese's, she might be on her 3rd coach. The similarities are there. They said that Angel Reese is making all this money in endorsements, which he is. They said that it's about Michael Jordan. And when Michael Jordan signed his 2nd contract, let's see what he did when he signed his 2nd contract. He won 4 championships. He won multiple scoring titles, more than 4, I believe. He won 91, 92, 96, 3 MVP awards. They never once renegotiated his contract. Never once. So when you start looking at the comparisons, there's a lot of comparisons. Does Angel Reese have, is she frustrated with the front office? Political will? Absolutely. Was Michael Jordan frustrated with the front office? Absolutely. No question. And so I'm listening to you guys. I'm like, man, it's all there. And political will, you correct me if I'm wrong. Regardless of race, every all-star Hall of Fame player that played for Chicago sports franchises, from Walter Payton to Richard Dent to Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all of them had contract disputes. Am I right?
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And
so this is something that is common with Chicago sports fans. You remember Reggie Theus?
Yes, I remember Mr. Theus.
Reggie Theus said he would have left Chicago a long time ago if it weren't for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
The fans are going to love you. They can support you. But management's the problem.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
What's the topic? The cons? Yeah, this is a con. This is a con. Why are you asking taxpayers to fund your stadium? Didn't they have Big Seal? She left and went and won 2 MVPs with Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And you guys said that Kamilla Carper League, they also, even though Candace Parker wasn't the finals MVP in Chicago, but she was a league MVP twice and a finals MVP. And they let her go. Mm-hmm. She should have finished her with the Sky. And she's never been asked that question. Why didn't you finish your career with the Sky? Because then she would have to tell the truth about the franchise. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
You know, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Like I said, I'm listening to you guys, and you're hitting it out the park.
I mean, every you have 2 players, Gabby Williams, that just spoke up about how they, presented some presentation. That's a form of psychological abuse. Then you have the other young lady, Courtney Williams, saying how ridiculous they were, to the point where they, after the games, you couldn't even get a shower in or a room or go to eat downtown because they wanted you to take your ass on home out in the suburbs an hour and change away where they got these girls staying. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, the bottom line is they have made it clear that this is a plantation. Mm-hmm. And we are here to exploit your talent, your gifts, your marketability. And the crazy part is, it's not a mistake. It's a business plan. If you look at the history of the, and I'm gonna tell you something about the Bulls. Oh, yeah. They had a damn practice facility. And they might have had an asshole Ryan Stark for
Jay Krause.
But they had a good GM who was able to get quality players in here, and you did not have a problem with them not having a practice facility.
Yeah, Deerfield.
That's the bottom line. The Hawks got a practice facility. You have a franchise in a major market that don't even have a practice facility. That's ridiculous. Right, and then over a 20-year period, and you're gonna tell me to be patient? Patient? What am I waiting on? And then you want to sit up there we deserve to come back after this dismal performance. Now, I don't care what you say about Teresa Weatherspoon. She wasn't getting her ass blowed off the floor like this dude is. And then you think about another thing. You got this guy, Marsh, and the lady LaCasa's over here in the vault.
Wow.
They come out the same coaching tree.
Right.
Practically identical. But you know the difference is the Valks invested. You know, they had a practice facility. I think the guys used to go in the States, you know, before they moved the stadium to another city.
Right. They moved it out of Oakland.
But they put millions of dollars into that facility. They went and got a damn GM who had a basketball background and knew what he was doing. I ain't talking about coaching no kiddie league. Right. You know, it's some 7th and 8th graders. I'm talking about somebody that had a serious background that had been with New York for 5 years, came out of a winning program, came out of stability. What you have in Chicago is constant instability. It's constant. You can't keep changing. There was no reason to change coaches. You got 2 young ladies in here. You're too young for that. You know, if you got a veteran team, it's okay to make a coaching switch if you try to go in there. But when you got babies like that, young ladies that's trying to work their way through the league, that it was a quick cash grab. Somebody sat in that front office. I don't know if it was Fox, Alter, Rollins, or either the GM himself. Look, we need to make this money. You know, they don't care about the players. I mean, every player that has spoken to them, you got 27 players that played in Chicago that's in the league. The survey voted them the worst franchise
That's right.
of the league. So don't tell me to be patient. I don't want to hear about we still in win mode concept. You ain't won shit to be in win mode concept. That's just
let me ask a question. I got a question real quick here because y'all talking about the Chicago organizations. So I see a question in the chat. Do the Chicago Blackhawks have the same problem?
No, they have several practice facilities. Matter of fact, they just built a beautiful. Let me tell you what the Chicago Hawks did. They had Malcolm X College right off the highway 290. Malcolm X College built by the city, been there for years. They wanted that space to put a practice facility in. They went and built a whole brand new damn college right behind it. I don't know why they just wanted the front space. They went and built a brand new state-of-the-art college. Ain't cost nobody nothing so that they could put their little practice facility there. So I don't want to hear it. You got it. You know, a lot of these teams, they not owned by corporate people. They owned by these families. You know, like the Bears, Lord have mercy. The McCaskey family. That's a 100-year run. They done finally, the grandson, he done finally stepped back and bringing these, general manager in and the other guy that's head of the presidential operation. And now we're going to try to build something for real for the future. You know, but, you know, the problem with the sports teams here is that they don't have a media that ever wanted to check them. You have a very racist media here. Yeah. If you go read Scoop Jackson article, he pointed that out, and they just smashed black players. They dogged Jordan out. They did Derrick Rose a really bad job. This is a homeboy that brought that franchise out of the Jordan era back to any kind of prominence. And the minute he got hurt, he don't want to play, blah, blah, blah. You have a branch of the media here. They foul and they ridiculous, and we don't have Ebony and Jet here no more. That's right. Big that, because all of the major sports people and entertainers used to go downtown to Ebony and Jet. And that's how you got your message out, to the community.
Plus now you get Defender too. Yeah, the Chicago Defender too.
And the Defender, they done kind of went down, and you had the Citizen newspaper here. But I'm saying we had black media back in Muhammad Ali in them days, and stuff like that, and you don't have that now. So you're getting pulverized by media that, and what they do is tell them, if you don't tell the story the way we want it told, you won't have access to interview players, access to after game interviews and stuff like that. So everybody that goes to Chicago they done sold their soul for access to be a part of that, because you got to have stories.
What you know, political Lil, when players come from other organizations that come from winning backgrounds, I would get excited. The player or the coach, I say, yeah, they're gonna win. But then again, it's management is the problem. Management will only let them bring in certain players. Management would say, okay, we only gonna pay this player this amount of money. Okay, they say, bump that. I'm gonna go somewhere else where I can make more money. And you have players, and you guys probably know this. You got players in different sports leagues that will say, you can't trade me to certain teams. They have that in common. If you're gonna trade me, you need to look. I got a clause in my contract. You can't trade me to this team, to this team, to this team. Period. Yeah. But it's really frustrating because you got the fans that want to support the team, but then at the same time, the players, they feel like, I'm sacrificing my body, and what am I getting in return?
Absolutely nothing.
I was sitting there and I was on the podcast, and I was talking about comparing Boston to Chicago. And I was talking about, I went back in time to players who got raises because they just won a championship, just won, or just had a great season to get the team into the finals. And that's why I always bring up the Jordan situation. I was in class, and I had told my students Jordan was the 8th highest paid player on the team. Now, I'm say that in political, you know this, but there are going to be people in the chat like, wait a minute, Professor, hold on. Yes, he was the 8th highest paid player. They never renegotiated his contract. And you look at what he accomplished from 88 to 96. Just look at what he did in that 8-year period.
But we're talking about a different period, though, Professor. That was a time when you got paid for you earned it. Now we paying on potential now, so they getting their money up front. Michael had to earn his first. Michael didn't get to 38 million. He didn't get it until he had his. We paying on potential, and we giving out participation trophies. And I see y'all saying Scottie Pippen in the chat.
Scottie,
This is what I'm gonna say about Scottie. This is what I'm gonna say about Scottie. Was it a shame that they gave him that type of deal? Yeah, it was. But that's how businesses do. So Scottie also has to take some ownership in the fact that Scottie put his name on that deal. Scottie didn't push back. So and this is the reason why we're having the conversations about NIL and endorsements and being able to and being able to empower yourself and being able to have the right tools, resources, and people around you to make decisions. Yeah, Scottie Pippen, it was a bad deal, but Scottie didn't have to sign that deal. You have a responsibility to know what you sign.
Auntie Cess, what you just said, the owner said that himself, word for word.
Right. I wouldn't have signed it.
He even said, I wouldn't sign this if I were you. He told him.
But he signed it.
He signed it.
He wanted that money.
Right. And so once you put your name on a contract, that means something now. You can't now, I don't want to play and I'm going to throw, okay, well, you should have signed a better deal, Scottie.
But that goes back to what you guys were saying, the whole thing about the respect for the players. If you're bringing these two players in, Cardoso and Reese, I expected, okay. And I remember the first press conference, and Cardoso said, hey, ain't nobody going to get no rebounds. I said, okay. So I'm thinking, I got these two players. I could build off these two players, bring in some vets. I got the right coach and Teaspoon. Then you fire. And you got a media that's in the pocket with the team. They don't even question. This is ridiculous. You talking about Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah, okay. I get that part. But at some point, too, I'm pushing back on us as fans and people with social media capital. How you spend your social media capital matters. Right. What you like, share, subscribe, remix, all of that matters. That helps push narratives. That helps push algorithms. And so we have to be more responsible with what we push out there. We so quick to be like, oh, everything messed up. But then you look back, you be like, why it's messed up? Because we didn't do nothing. We was the generation. It's us. It's us. It ain't our mama now. They got us to where we was at because they did their job. Now we looking at the young people coming behind us like they all messed up. Who was supposed to tell them? Us. But so we gotta take some ownership in that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Auntie Cess and political, you guys, and it's few. This amount of people out here talking the way you talking. I want you to understand that. A few. Everybody else is going along with the narrative that these young ladies are not coachable. These two young ladies don't want to put, we know otherwise because we're looking at the big picture. And it's hard when you got people that want to sit back and repeat the talking points. You're like, you need to look at this differently. Because we're looking at it differently, and you're going to put your stock in a 37-year-old? Come on. You're going to put a stock in a 37-year-old, and then you're going to bring other players from other organizations? No. You had the right coach. Now, it would have been interesting had Teaspoon been there and Sloop came there. Because I'm pretty sure that Teaspoon, knowing her like we do, would have put Sloop in her place. Or would Sloop have been there? This is what I don't know if you guys have addressed this.
I don't think so. I think part of them firing her was that she didn't want to play for
okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you guys address that? Did Sloop, it's kind of interesting how did Sloop come back because Teaspoon was gone?
Yeah. Because Teaspoon has connections all in New York. Now that girl winded up on the bench in New York. Because my thing is, if Sloop was so hot, how the hell she get out of Chicago? She was here doing the championship team.
She was.
You know, so why did y'all let her walk? Now you want to bring her back like she all world. Her wife was all world, not her.
Quigley
was the dog up in here. Quigley was the one going to all-star games and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And so you want to come here and pimp your visibility off of these two young black players. Because wasn't nobody thinking about no damn Sloop. Well, nobody thinking about Sloop at all. It's just that Jeff been around for probably a decade or more now. He's been around, and so he was here, you know, he was a coach when Sloop and them played here. And this is why he took care of all these girls to buy their silence. He let Dana go to a contender. He sent Izzy to a contender. That's to keep their mouths shut, you know. And these other girls ain't doing nothing but selling out because the very ones that sit up there talking shit wouldn't be able to play for nobody else. They know that they only play is gonna be in Chicago. Ain't nobody knocking the door down for Rachel Banner or none of them chicks. To be honest, you know. And Sloop is not gonna pack a stadium by herself.
No,
her name don't carry that kind of weight in Chicago among the fan base who is primarily black females. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You know, you need to get that out your head. Your wife was an attraction. You were a good player, I give her a great. She was a great assist person, but she wasn't no stoned down. I'm gonna spend $300 get my hair fixed, buy me a badass outfit, and go see Sloop. I mean, you know, come on with that.
And they had the number 3 pick in the draft, didn't they, this year?
Which was Centron.
Oh my God!
And they didn't want Centron because see, that's part of the con. Let's bring back somebody Chicago familiar with. She was a champion. She done won a championship with New York. You know, this, that, and the other. That's all hype because they think, I don't know why they keep thinking these suburban people gonna come down to the south side of Chicago. They not coming. Right. The Wrigley Field crowd, they not coming past Madison. Knock it off.
Right.
They're not coming down there. So you only gonna draw from the south and west side.
Right.
And who on the south and west side? Us.
Well, us.
Ain't nobody coming down. First of all, they don't want to come down there and get their head cracked open. No way. But I'm just saying that you tried that shit. You moved. I remember they was at UIC when we first
on the west side. On Harrison.
Then they moved the shit way out there to Rosemont.
Right. That's where they won the championship.
No, they won the championship at Wintrust Arena.
Okay. I thought they were still at Rosemont.
But they moved out at Rosemont with no damn body coming back there. Why you think they winded up back in the city when the mayor because he politically, you know, he politically in there too. And so as soon as they built this new stadium, then you come running back here because what nobody going way out there. Do you know the traffic? Oh God, I don't even talk about traffic nightmare trying to get out the road. 94? No, you ain't trying to do that. We ain't trying to do that one at all. And so you back here in the city, pimping a fan base, and they just it's just like hitting the lottery. I mean, you should have seen the draft room. I mean, when you look at the draft room for when they selected these two young ladies, and the response to the city was on fire. I was there. I was there. Look, I hadn't spent money on them since the championship shot. I'm going all in my little account, buying shirts, running down there to the games and stuff like that.
But you know what, Political L, Auntie says the thing that gets me, and this was always bothered me for Angel to drop number 7. But in fairness to Chicago, do with what you got. You got 2 players you can build around. All you need is a point guard, which don't tell me there are not point guards there. There were point guards available
all the time.
Odyssey, they were available. And it's frustrating.
And Jeff wouldn't go get her.
Wouldn't get him.
Yeah. Because he wanted to sabotage his job. His goal was to sabotage a teaspoon. And he didn't think they was going to get the fallout. And I'm gonna tell you something. This whole concept of Chicago was built on the sister girl thing. This is gonna be a black girl magic. This is gonna be black women in leadership. That's what was sold to the community. And that's why it has been supported over time. Because they occasionally bring in a black woman coach, or they'll keep it black male. You know, just like right now, Tyler got other black female, 3 or 4 black female coaches. Yeah, assistant coaches with him. You know, so it's always sold as a black thing up front. That's why I was telling people, Nadia Rollins kind of, you know, she's supposed to be some kind of co-owner, but she don't own enough to run her mouth.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She put out this foundation. It was supposed to be black women, business people, and entrepreneurs coming together. You know, so when they brought in Teresa Weatherford, everybody was like, all right, well, I think they're trying to do something now.
Hell, I was excited, even though I'm here in Phoenix.
Was ecstatic.
I was ecstatic because I like Teaspoon, and I know what she's going to bring to the, and plus, you know, it was the perfect storm. Angel was leaving Kim Mulkey to go to another Hall of Famer. Kamilla was leaving Dawn Staley to go to another Hall of Famer. So it was the perfect storm. So I said, okay, all you need is a point guard. Then all you need is somebody, a 2 guard that can shoot. I mean, you got the foundation here, there. It don't take much.
I mean, they had Kennedy. They had Kennedy, which was a scorer, but she still needed a point guard. And see, what the problem is, the GM is sitting there promising Dana she gonna be a starter in this league. Dana was never a starter in this league. She never started for those Chicago team. So you promising her and Izzy they gonna get the starting role, but then when the coach putting the team together, and then the thing with Izzy is she wasn't ready to all the way come back. She was on many restrictions, always kind of carrying on from an injury. And Dana is not a point guard. She's not a starting point guard. She can play the point guard position, but her natural position is the 2. You know, and so she couldn't quite, you know, pull the team out. And so they were angry because of what they was promised, you know, by Jeff. I mean, the thing is, Jeff is this is the first time in Chicago history that the coach has not been the GM. You know, and so I don't know if Jeff wanted the team, wanted to coach the team and be the GM, and that's why he, you know, but I remember Ms. Rollins had said that, you know, they were intending on breaking that up. They was paying 1 salary for 2 jobs. But even the young lady that stayed here for 6 years, she was the GM. She's with Seattle now.
Talking about Noah Quinn?
No. The assistant coach, the young lady from Brazil. She was the general manager, and she got them to the playoffs first time in 8 years. Got them to a playoff and got them to a finals and had a winning record. And her contract came up for renewal, and we're going in a different direction. Right. Like a different direction.
You talking about Pokey Chapman.
Pokey Chapman.
A
different direction. What kind of shit?
Yeah.
You know,
Pokey Chapman. Yes.
You was already in the direction of winning. What you talking about? You going in a new direction? I mean, it's just they on some click, clack. You know, it's all kind of ridiculous stuff going on. You know, hooking up these NBA assistants coming over here punching your ticket. You know, by being a head coach. That guy that's a head, Marsh ain't got no business being nobody head coach. You don't have
him. When political leader Auntie says, not him and several other coaches. Some of these coaches I never heard of. Never where they come from. The coach in Dallas, Man Bun, the coach.
Oh, he came out of college system, but okay. but I think he was an assistant with the Sparks at one time when Miller was the coach. That's
Miller
one of
was the coach.
Yeah, that's a connect there. That's a connect there. That's not.
And Miller's a GM in Dallas. Dallas won less games this year. When he was with the Sparks, they won less than 10 games. They almost tripled their win total this year.
Yeah.
But he's still the GM. Okay, this coaching,
you know, he may have some kind of connection with the ownership. You know, some of the things that, you know, it's very cliquish in the coaching thing. We understand that.
But it does is it's insulting to your intelligence, because you know these individuals. You know these individuals. We talk about like Teaspoon, and I've been asking this question about the Detroit franchise. Is Stan Cash going to be a part of that franchise when they come and play? Because she won championships there. Who's going to be with the field? So I'm paying attention.
I hope so, because she got front office experience.
Stan Cash ain't even a part of the WNBA.
Yeah, but she just left the NBA. She just left an NBA job.
Yeah, right. These players aren't running back over here, y'all. They know why they left here. They're not these players. They don't leave here. The WNBA doesn't build partnerships with the legends that leave here. They have living legends that's walking around right now. They don't build those partnerships with them. They don't seek them out. They don't even talk about them.
That's a damn shame.
That's not part of their strategy. I mean, they're gonna have to figure that. They're gonna have to figure that piece out. It would be lovely to have Swing Cash and them back around here, but I mean, Cheryl Swoops is the GOAT. Look how they treat her. Cheryl Swoops made a statement about Caitlin Clark, and they acted like she didn't know basketball. Why would anybody else say anything?
But see, that's why what you guys are doing and what KSAP is doing is important, because you got to have that. And you always say, what do you always say? Click. What do y'all say? Click and share. I share this so people can see, like and share. And I share this with you. I said, you need to listen to this, because this is stop listening to corporate media. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. I give you an example. The Aces have won how many games in a row? 17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That should be the top damn story. Should be the top damn story. Team won 17 games in a row, playoffs and regular season. Should be top story. And then when you ask them, well, how they win? Asia Wilson. No. Asia Wilson is the reason. She's not the only reason. If you look at the games they've won, not one team has scored 90 points against them. If I'm right or wrong, you tell me. If you look at a lot of their wins, a lot of teams have not even scored 70 points. That's defense. And they made some adjustments.
But the reason that we're saying Asia Wilson is because, like the coach said, that's Asia bringing her laptop to practice. That's Asia that made the defensive adjustments. That's Asia that pulled Becky aside and said, no, these are the defensive sets that we got to run. So when we say that's Asia, I mean that's Asia. I don't mean that's Asia them. I mean 17 games because of Asia. Everybody else. I'm glad y'all waking up and earning y'all money now.
Right.
But 17 games is about Asia. That defensive anchor is Asia. Yeah, Asia won 17. And everybody else woke up and did their job. We appreciate y'all finally catching up, because Asia been working all season. So, yeah, we appreciate y'all catching up. But it was 44 of them y'all could have helped out in. Appreciate you for the last 17. Get it in line. And Becky, tighten up, because I'm looking at you too. Yeah, this is about Asia. This is very much about Asia. There's no other team that's saying, hey, my number one player had to fix my defense. There's no other coach saying, hey, we're playing better now because the number one player on my team is bringing her laptop to meetings. And when I get to practice to tell the team, what they tell me, oh, Asia already told us. Ain't no other team saying that.
So you're saying
it's Asia.
Asia, FC is the reason why they changed their defensive schemes.
It is Asia.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not arguing with you at all.
No. I don't think you're arguing. I'm just saying, like, when I want people to know, like, it is Asia. When I Las Vegas Asia's, yeah, I mean it.
So, do you think that Asia is going to be the MVP?
Asia is the MVP.
No, Auntie Cess. No, Auntie Cess. Do you think that Asia's? I know she's the MVP, but do you think they're going to? Let me phrase.
If I allow the WNBA to define MVP for me, then maybe she won't be. But the AP has already named her the most outstanding player and the defensive player of the year. So the WNBA to come out and do anything else would just be being disingenuous. But I'm not going to let the WNBA see. This is the part of me having a platform and me pushing back on bullshit and narratives. I said Asia is the MVP. Now the only thing that we have to do is meet and agree that she is. See, that's where people get stuff fucked up. See, if we meet and agree that Asia is the MVP, who cares what the WNBA say? See, what the WNBA say only matters if we give that, if we allow that, if we give that value.
So
we have to stop allowing people to define our black excellence.
Okay.
I don't need the WNBA to tell me that Asia is the MVP. She is.
We know that. So you said the AP already announced that she's the most valuable. Okay, and
they gave her most valuable and defensive player of the year last week.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Because one year she was supposed to be the MVP. She came in third or fourth? What year was that?
I think she came in second, and somebody gave her a fourth place vote. I don't know that
somebody gave her a fourth place vote, and I don't know what four players are better than her. And that's the year they won the championship right over New York, and Stewie won the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
And they had the best record in the league, 34-6. Am I right?
Yeah. 2020, that was the same year.
Yeah. Okay. So the AP is gave her the defensive player of the year and the MVP. Okay. All right. Well, personally, I hope they WNBA don't give her the MVP so it can piss her off again. And that way they can win the championship.
I'm not letting people off the hook. I'm over that. Give her what she earned. Right. It's not okay if you do not give her what she earned. Yeah. It's not okay for you to not acknowledge her excellence, especially since you tried to shove subpar down my throat all year, and she can't even get her ass off the bench. So no, it's not okay for you to not acknowledge this excellence, because without this excellence, where is your season? Where's your season? Without the stud buzz in Asia, where's your season? What other stories did you have to tell this season? None. It ain't a story you could tell, because the only story that you wanted to tell was Cece. And abracadabra, I just turned her into an official
jump right online. I'm on a show,
so she can't jump up and play basketball. She's got to get in her bag. Mm-hmm. So tell her Asia her due. She earned that. What's up, Vizino?
We about to get off though, but
we so quick to be like, it's okay if you don't. No, it's not. Give me what's due. If I was somebody else, y'all would be up in arms. Y'all would be ready to protest. Y'all call the Senate. If it was Caitlyn. So no, it's not okay. Give Asia what she earned. Yeah, the Valks the only other story. I agree with that. Sonya Citron, Okikiola in there a little bit, but the WNBA had nothing for us this year. Look at the All-Star weekend. Stud Buzz don't show up with that microphone off of DoorDash. We ain't got nothing to watch for the WNBA All-Star weekend.
Yeah, they need some marketing help for sure.
No, I'm tired. I'm telling y'all, stop letting losers do winner shit. That's what makes it lame. You just sat around and watched a whole bunch of losers go up there and get trophies that they didn't earn. So when a real winner get it, they don't even get the respect that they deserve. That's wild to me.
Well, I think for one thing, I think that she, even if they name it to her, it's the lack of respect that she is getting. Because like I said before, if it was somebody else, it would be a block story. But it's not even acknowledged. Mm-hmm. It's not even acknowledged. So even if she does win it by the WNBA standards, she's still upset. And she has every right to be. Like you said, Auntie Cess, she's not even being recognized for how great she is. And this will be what, her fourth, and she'd be the first player to win 4 MVPs in the league, history of the league. Is that right?
Yeah, she's used to being the first. It'll be okay.
It'd be the first. The first, yeah.
Asia Wilson's on top. She can't be stopped. Y'all know how I go. Y'all know what it is. And this is why every time I see a loser, I point one out. No, that's not a loser, and do not cheer for them. That is not a loser. I need for y'all to understand what a winner is. I need for y'all to understand what hard work look like, what hard work and dedication get you. I need y'all to understand that 4 and 8. That means 4 and 8. That means
4 and 8. Yes.
Four MVPs in 8 years.
Mm-hmm. And one unanimous one.
One unanimous one, but I mean that makes her a dynasty by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Only her and Cynthia Cooper.
P 1, 2, and 3. Y'all know how I go. Let's go.
You know.
Let's go. MV4. Crown her. Just turned 29 last month. She already a New York Times bestseller, but she ain't marketable. Nah, I'm gonna tell you she marketable every time you tell me that she's not.
Of course she is.
If she wasn't marketable, she wouldn't be the global face of your organization. Stop playing with me.
Mm-hmm. Now, who said she wasn't marketable?
They did.
Lord Jesus.
That's what the media said.
Lord Jesus. Well, they the same media that said sure.
Did y'all see Paige get her Rookie of the Year award on Jennifer Hudson today?
I saw that.
Did y'all see it? Did y'all see her walk down the hall and they was at the end? She was, you know, you walk down the hall on J Hood and do your little dance. And when she got to the end, your girl was at the end of the walk with the trophy.
Yes.
Did it look like she never talked to Paige before?
Hmm.
Did it look like she didn't know Paige? Because she said she don't know Asia. You done handed Asia 3 MVPs and a couple DPOYs.
But she don't know her. But she don't know her.
And then
you've never sat down with her. No, that's real. You've never sat down and had a conversation with her.
But look the way
Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell never sits down with Patrick Mahomes. Kathy said, the only time I've ever talked to Asia was when I told her, congratulations for your trophies. This is the face of your league. Stop playing with me.
But then you got Paige on a black show.
Paige is Paige. PB5 is PB5. PB5, she went on a world tour last summer and tried to show everybody who she is. This has been a fascinating conversation. Professor, I hope we can have y'all back. But the WNBA playoffs are kicking off right now. We got to get to the games in here.
Yeah. What's going to happen, ladies?
As far as what?
The games. I mean, who's going to close out?
Asia's not going to lose. Asia's not going to lose on their way to the chip.
Well, see, so you're saying Vegas is done, but we might be going back down 65 south, 65 to 75 to Atlanta for game 3. That what you're saying?
Atlanta got to push for a game. No, Atlanta could close out tonight.
They could.
The only team that I really got, the only series I got going 3 right now is the Phoenix series and the Minnesota series.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
You got Phoenix and New York going 3.
Oh, yeah. Especially if Stewie is hurt.
That's right. Stewie is hurt. All right. Let's see.
The W don't want to award Asia because it hurts their next year. CC narrative. They can't have a CC narrative next year. This is what they got to figure out right now. They got to scrap. Their plans for the next 5 years just got scrapped, and she couldn't come back this season. Scrap.
Need a new game plan.
She need a new game. Not a game plan. She need a new game. Step back 3 to the left ain't gonna get you nowhere.
Tell me something, Auntie Cess, before we go. You think they if Indiana loses tonight or Friday, you think Stephanie White is gone?
I don't see no reason to terminate her.
If Stephanie White is not in Indiana anymore, it's because Stephanie White decides to leave Indiana. Stephanie White had a whole lot of family stuff going on, a lot of personal stuff going on in her family that Indiana supported her through. They did that. You know, you go on FMLA and then see how you like your new job, and then go quit your old job to get her ass to Chicago anyway. So, I mean, to get her to Indiana anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that behind the scenes stuff, you know, because remember, she was like, oh, it's personal. We don't know if she ever gonna coach again. And then next thing you know, she was the coach of Indiana, and it was like, damn, is her family straight? See that all that, yeah, all that fake paperwork and everything. She went on FMLA, tried her new job, called him back, and was like, I'm straight. We ain't got time. So if she leaves, if she's not there, I think it'll be because of her.
Okay.
Noel Quinn's probably out of there.
Okay.
White got a very injured team to the playoffs. That's remarkable. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a lot of injured teams in the playoffs. You know, Golden State probably gonna say we're a real injured team. In New York is probably gonna say we're a real injured team.
I mean, but injuries is part of the deal. That's why you're supposed to have enough strength to be able to sustain injuries. One thing I like about the Vault is they had a major injury, but they still got in the playoffs. You know. So
yeah, I mean, it's just having a standard. It's strength and conditioning. It's how your organization is set up. And I mean, we talk a whole lot about the Chicago Sky, but Chicago Sky ain't the only organization that ain't got no facility. Do your homework. Chicago Sky ain't the only ones. Ain't got no lockers and no 24-hour location that just belongs to them. But y'all, it is 0-0. Okay. Appreciate y'all pulling up and rocking with us. Professor Golden, we'll see you again. Political Lil.
Yes.
We will finish this conversation. For those of y'all that's in the match and pull up, the game's on in the living room. Y'all know what it is. Until next time. Y'all hit that like, hit that share. They both right there. Stay tuned. Talk soon. We'll be back. We out.